Let's look at these two examples. I love baking my family and my friends. And the second one, I love baking my family and my friends. What are the differences between the two? Write down in the comments what are the differences between the two and what is the meaning of sentence number 1 and number 2. If you look at these two examples, you find out that both of them have the same words. Exactly the same, no changes. But what is missing? Punctuation marks. How? If you look at example number 1, I love baking my family and my friends. What does that mean? Does it make any sense? If you look at the second one, I am talking about my hobbies using commas. I love my family, I love baking, and I love my friends. So when we talk about the things that we love doing, we need to use commas. Why are we using commas? List of nouns that we are talking about. So if you noticed, we have commas after each one of them except the last one. Commas are also used between adjectives and adverbs, meaning that, let's say, like to have a small purple German car. So what happened in here? I'm using commas between the adjectives. So you need to make sure that you have commas with the street and the city when you're writing the address. Example, 22 Hollywood Avenue, comma, Birmingham, comma. You need to use commas before or after a direct speech. Example, if we say, I am sorry, comma, she replied. Comma, if you start the sentence with linking words or conjunctions. What do I mean by that? Like, furthermore, comma, however, comma, like in addition, comma, so, comma, but, things like that. Full stop. What is full stop? We need to use full stop at the end of the sentence. Why do we need to use that? To indicate that we are finishing the sentence. And also, it is very important for you to use full stops to organize your writing and to make your writing looks really interesting to read. However, make sure your sentence is not too long, because if your sentence is too long, it will be very difficult for the reader to read, and also the meaning might not be very clear. That is why it is very important for you to use full stops once you complete one part of the sentence, like once you have subject, verb, and object. If the meaning is way too long, you need to break that into parts. We need to use them when we are addressing a question. And I'm sure all of us know about it, but there is one thing that I want to tell you about. You need to use a question mark with tag questions. Now, what do I mean by tag questions here? For example, if I say, she likes badminton, doesn't she? We are using tag question where doesn't she? Why do we need to use tag questions? To ensure that she really likes badminton. Another example, when we say, he is coming late to the meeting, isn't he? Tag question. And in the end, we have a question mark. So these are basically the kind of questions where we need to use question mark at the end. The other punctuation mark is exclamation mark. When do we need to use it? To indicate strong emotions. What does that mean? It means that if you see something that is really interesting or maybe really scary or maybe amazing or things like that, you need to express your emotions. You need to tell how you feel about it. Let's say you are visiting a place and the place is really, really amazing. You can say, wow, how interesting. Then exclamation mark. Or maybe you can say, oh, that is awful. You need to use semicolon connecting two independent sentences. How? You have two sentences. Number one, they wake up early. Number 2, they go jogging. So these are basically 2 sentences, but you want to connect them together. So what do we need to do? We need to use semicolon. It will be like, they wake up early, then they go jogging. In this case, you are using a semicolon between the 2 independent sentences. Use a semicolon to separate items. Example, if I say, my friend visited the Eiffel Tower, comma, Paris, and then semicolon, Malaysia, comma, maybe the Twin Tower, semicolon, Big Ben, comma, London, semicolon, the pyramids, comma, Egypt. Look at this example, you find out that there are commas after every part. Don't use a lot of commas in one sentence. Now let's look at the same example with commas. Do you see the differences now? One is colon. When do we need to use colon? To introduce ideas or explanations. Example, you are in a meeting and you need to introduce someone else's idea. So you can say, Mr. Jack's idea, colon, that and that. Or maybe if you want to explain something, you can use, my explanation covers the following points, colon, and then you provide the details. Now let's move. When do we need to use dashes? You need to use it to talk about afterthoughts. What do I mean by afterthoughts? Example, let's say we are in a meeting and we are discussing different points of views, but maybe I didn't like my colleague's point of view and therefore I told him how I feel, dashes, at least I tried. So what happened? Why am I using dashes? I'm expressing my thought. Like you need to use dashes to express your emotions or tell or to express how you feel after doing something. We need to use apostrophes for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, as a contraction form, like instead of saying I am here, you can say I'm here. Or maybe he has got homework to do. He's got homework to do. So we are using a contraction for possession or belonging. When you want to talk about the things that belong to people, for example, this is my mother's bag. So whose bag is this? My mom. So in this case, I'm using a like apostrophe with S to connect the bag to my mom. And the other one is related to quotation marks. We need to use quotation marks to quote speeches. Example, let's say you want to express what your boss say. The boss said, comma, quotation marks, we need to come early tomorrow morning. So these are basically the different types of punctuation marks. How did you find the lesson? Was the lesson easy to understand or too much of information in one video or too hard? If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments so I'll explain them immediately, or I might even create another video to answer your questions, alright? And also, if you feel that you need more examples or more activities on punctuation marks, please let me know in the comments so I'll make another video that focuses on activities, alright? So this is basically everything that has to do with punctuation marks. So in this case, I wish you a happy day, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, and give this video some like. So in this case, I wish you a happy day and take care of yourself, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.